I've got 3 days to take a mountain of parts and finish this LS 4L80E swapped crew cab Chevrolet pickup. Obviously, I can't do this myself, so I've assembled the square body B team. Well, maybe like an A.5, A- team. Welcome to Vice Grip Garage. So I'll bring you up to speed on this truck. It's been a couple years since I've got it, and it's been in and out of the shop, and some of you might be confused on where we're at with this thing. So we picked this up, I want to say 3 years ago, and we nicknamed it the Cat Farm Crew Cab because where we got this thing, there were cats and kittens galore climbing in and out of this thing. Some of them had one eye, missing tails. It was kind of a sad thing. They're all barn cats. But anyway, I got the rig running and actually drove it home. This was, well, we weren't really doing a lot of revivals then. And once it got into the shop, I immediately took the 454 and Turbo 400 out of this rig because I wanted to do a budget LS swap. Well, turns out, yeah, you know, the interwebs lies to you, fellers. There's no such thing as a budget LS swap unless you literally take the harness and computer and a junkyard LS and just plop it in. But you still have headers and mounts and all sorts of stuff to go into it. So I pumped the brakes and thought, well, maybe we'll do this halfway kind of gooderish. And I started getting better parts into better parts. Well, 3 years of accumulating parts, we're finally ready to put this thing together. Now, the original big block in this is the budget big block we built on the channel and was the first big block that went into independent Chevelle. In fact, I still have that engine, and we're gonna do something really cool with that this summer. The Turbo 400 out of this is still in the Chevelle, banging gears and that thing. So we've repurposed some of those parts. Now I'll give you a walk around here, but basically we have the interior completely gutted. We do have an LS and a 4L80E just sitting in here. Nothing's really configured or plugged in. So we've got a tremendous amount of work to do. We've got a Holley system to completely wire. We've got to do transmission control. We've got full custom interior. Dan, the interior man's here. He's going to take care of us there with the help of Jessica. And we'll give you kind of the team here in a minute. But first, I want to do a full walk around. Then we'll introduce you to all the members. Of course, the exterior hasn't changed much at all. I did complete a C-notch in here. We also did a lot of rust repair. So all the floors have been patched. New sills, front and rear. Same as up here. You gonna pull the dash out?
Yep, I just got the screws out. Well, it came out way easier than I thought. Maybe.
They're gonna foam up the dash and wrap that in vinyl. Make a custom cover for that. Everything back here needs to come out. We've got the original fenders. I do have new inner fender wells. The radiator support, that's all rusted and rotted. I'm gonna be building a new one of those today and just transferring the headlight buckets and stuff like that. We do have a C-notch on here. It's a 6-inch drop in the rear, I believe 5 in the front. That's a vintage air kit we've got to finish. This is the interior right now. It's absolutely gutted. Nothing in here. We're gonna have a custom headliner going in, custom seats that Dan did as well. Like I said, we're wrapping the dash. We've got Dakota Digital. Oh, you gotta get the vent tubes though.
Is that what it is? It's like really stuff.
We've got gauges in here already, but we still gotta finish wiring those in. There's a box of Magoo that takes the Holley info and sends it to another boxy thingy that then goes to those that does the stuff so it reads right. And this is the engine, which has gone backwards slightly because we're putting a different oil piece reader thing in there with an adapter, and the intake was in the way. We also needed to get, if you remember from the previous videos, a barb fitting so we get some vacuum up here, and then there's another sensor that needs to go in there. So clearly there's a lot of work that needs to be done kind of in this region as well. So brings us to the point, let's introduce you to the team members.
We've got no time for trucks that don't run and crew cabs with no crew. We've got metal to burn, sparks to fly. The next Vice Grip Garage Challenge is just around the bend. Vice Grip Vice Grip Garage.
I'm plumbing everything up, the fuel system, catch can, transmission cooler lines, all that kind of stuff. I'm mounting the transmission cooler.
My strengths coming into this, I'm hoping to knock out the interior with Dan, of course. Probably going to be nudging Derek along the way, keeping him motivated, which will in turn keep the guys motivated to keep all them going and getting this thing done.
I'm Jared from Wrench Every Day. On this project, I've been tasked with the wiring. Nothing is gonna work without electricity flowing back and forth, and I'm here to give you that.
I really don't know what I'm doing here. I'm the guy that does the part that nobody gives a crap about, and that's the inside of the car. But, you know, what the heck.
I'm Josh Mazerel, I'm a professional fabricator. I can weld anything from a broken heart to the crack of dawn.
I'm Terry. I'm gonna bring it. Pretty much anything they need, I'm gonna be there for them. No job is too big, and no job is gonna be too small. That's right.
If I don't get this truck done, I'm gonna lose the barn. But look at this, they're just leaning on stuff. There's nothing getting done. So I don't know.
Vice Grip Garage. Vice Grip Garage.
We got 3 days to finish this build. 1, 2, 3. 3 days. My hopes is it runs after 3 days. As far as us getting this done in the next 3 days, I'm very optimistic. I would be lying if I said I'm not a little concerned.
Well, I noticed we didn't have a windshield person.
Yeah,
so.
the list didn't exist yet.
I was still a little misdirected by our fearless leader, so trying to take matters in my own hands.
This makes it like an actual project now, though. Like we have to
Now there's things we have to get done.
do stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of like just.
This is an
wandering around.
accountability. Are we doing bags?
Yes-ish. I'll order some in the next 10 minutes and then pay through the teeth overnighting them.
Okay, so 4 Lincoln bags, that's a big project.
It might just be helper bags.
Oh, okay.
And I think all we got to do is weld cups on
Yeah.
axle tubes and
Okay, yeah, that
little
sounds
compressor.
so easy.
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll only take an hour.
Yeah.
Basically done already.
I'm going to say 45 minutes.
Right.
He's not doing it, it's easy.
So we are waiting for a couple fittings to finish up, be able to put the fuel tank in and run the fuel lines up to the engine. Basically waiting for 2 or 3 fittings, so kind of just waiting around and having a beer until my parts get here.
Do we have exhaust on this?
The exhaust is open header. And that's, we're good.
That's what we're going to be at the end of the
Maximum reversion for my O2 sensor while I try to.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
While we're trying to tune it.
I will hold the dinner plate over the end of it slightly so we can get some readings.
You'll pulse it just right, so that way it'll come out, but you won't let the vacuum go back in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Regulator we doing like Corvette
have-
filter or?
Holly,
Holly regulator lines back to the tank.
there's about 20 wires that are no longer needed that I need to pull out of that. Derek's building out the front ends.
What about like injectors, intake? That looks,
He's working on that.
Yeah, that's together. I'm waiting for the drill so we can mount. That's an early one, so we don't have all the fittings in it that the current Hollies have. So I need to add one more fitting for the brake booster, and then that goes back down.
just drop by wire or
Cable. The cable and bracket came
Cable
in
and bracket.
from Motion today, right?
I brought those.
You brought it. Oh, hand delivered.
So we're making progress, but it seems like every job I've started, I've quickly run into one missing part. It's all been $3 parts, one little fitting, one little hole saw, and while Derek lives in a very beautiful part of the country, there's nothing close. So everything is met with a 30-minute run or an overnight shipment. So we're making all the progress that we can. Some of us are picking to do easier jobs than the rest of us, but it all has to get done, and we're gonna make sure, rather than just doing it, we're gonna do it right so it doesn't have to get redone. But it's still fun, lots of fun people, and I mean, who can complain about that?
Transmission cooler and lines to it.
Rear mount transcooler, right?
Rear mount transcooler.
And it has the correct long fittings for a 4L80,
Yep.
so you
I have
don't
the 4L80 fittings.
so you don't starve it with oil.
Catch can.
Is there a fan on that transcooler?
Yes. So that'll have to be wired in.
Yeah. We need to drill and tap the pan for the temp sensor of the transmission when it comes in. We need to figure out which
We
one.
don't have that sensor yet, but
That's coming.
Yeah, I don't know what these guys are crying about. Like, I need parts. Oh, Derek didn't order this. And on my show, Death Wish, we don't let missing parts stop us from completing the build. Like, failure doesn't stop. Failure is a new baseline.
Engine is dry, so it needs oil.
fluids.
Yeah. Ignition coil harnesses, they're coming today or tomorrow.
Hey, look, I'm just here checking in, doing the managerial things. There's some shop talk going on back here about missing parts. I tell you what, there's more parts back here than you can't even shake a stick. I think that's the saying, or you chopped a stick. Anyway, we got tables of parts, but look at this. They're just leaning on stuff. There's nothing getting done. The only guy working around here is Dan, you know what I mean?
You know, I'm having a good time watching these guys do pretty much nothing. They do it well. I have to give them credit. The missing parts thing, I brought everything I needed. I don't know what they're complaining about. Good Lord, you know? I don't know what kind of guy does that, you know?
Probably want...
Clean this stuff out before you put the
Yeah, I got to clean the intake. It had some water and there's a little bit of rust scale, so we're going to get that cleaned up for him. It probably wouldn't hurt to do a nut and bolt over. Just...
Yeah. Suspension stuff.
Yeah. Your power steering line's not running a cooler.
My man Derek called me down here. You know, he says, Terry, we're going to do an LS install on the Lewisburg garage pickup over here. And get down here, and there's no parts. Where are the parts, Derek? The only one that's doing anything is the interior guy. Look at him over there. He's sweating it out. Dan! How you doing, buddy? You're sweating it out over there. Look at you. This man.
Then the full interior is handled. That's amazing how much better that already just foamed.
Do we need to put any interior stuff on the list? Should we put your stuff on the list? You got it.
So you can come cross things off when you get done?
It feels good to cross stuff off.
You can cross off whatever you want.
So just do interior.
Interior.
We'll cross that off when it's done.
Yeah.
I gotta actually get the shift linkage.
Yeah, finish the shift linkage.
Mock up to the column shifter.
So, we're using the column shifter.
Yeah.
Neat. Is there like a
You
kit
can
for
do that
or
with the 480, yeah.
no oil cooler, I assume?
No.
Okay.
We'll be adding a lot, I'm
Catch
sure.
can.
Yeah, the catch can you can put on there.
Engine catch can.
Got the power steering. Derek's building out the core support with Radiator, inner fenders,
core support.
which actually
Radiator.
inner fenders will probably go on pretty quickly just because that'll let him start plumbing fuel.
We got stuff to do here, guys.
What's going to happen if it's not done in 3 days, Derek?
Then I push it at the tree row again. It sits for another 3 years.
I thought you were going to lose the shop.
Well, the barn will be gone and my cat, so then that's when it's got to go to the tree row.
Mostly the cat.
Yeah, that's like
Well,
No, we had the
Dan didn't
discussion.
want that. He just wanted...
interior done. He'll let us know when it's done.
It'll be done before we're done.
Anyway, maybe I'm just a little stressed out because this customer here on this truck, by the way, is just a cankersaurus, angry, bitter little woman, right? And if I don't get this truck done, I'm gonna lose the barn and my cats, where the cat's gonna go, and then the tools gotta go outside, they're gonna get rusty. You know, you can't warranty rust on tools. So I don't know, it's just, but the day's good, everything's fine. Is what I'm saying.
That's where we're going to run the fuel, right?
It'd be ideal to come down this frame rail.
Yeah.
So we could potentially do just this side and the core support, so there's a little bit more access through that hole.
Because then that would give us more stuff to do, like the finishing the vintage air. And
Yeah, vintage air, heater, hose runs, and...
Lower rad, this ground, the battery tray.
Yeah, I mean, are we prioritizing making this thing run or prioritizing trying to get as much of it done in a manner that makes the most sense?
Yes.
Go.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
And we have a vintage air, like the whole system.
Yeah, basically all it needs done is the condenser kit
Okay.
and the heat side and putting in the doodabby whirl whippy. That should be good.
talk technical like that.
I know. These can be discoed. That's the old fuel lines. We can just
Oh.
Yank those.
pull those out.
Oh, we'll just feed off of those. I'm sure they're clean and good.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we'll add a bunch.
Oh yeah. We cross one thing off and 7 more get added on.
Yeah.
Like that's how every build goes. I feel like we've covered our list making enough at this point.
Totally.
Hey, John.
Hello. First thing you do is clean it off with this special soap. These are all SEM products, so you want to make sure that you don't try to clean it off with mineral spirits or something like that. You want to clean it off with the stuff they want you to use, which is the plastic leather prep, the SEM soap, and the adhesion promoter. And then the color coat is the last part of the process, the easy part. It's just like spraying any other spray paint.
And that'll match the door panels and everything else.
Should
you got
match the
going on.
door panels.
So he actually had to cut the belt apart to get the,
Just to get the mechanism out.
yeah,
Otherwise, if I could have forced it down through there, I would have. But
yeah. And then you'll resew that back together and
I'll sew it back with the correct thread for the seat belt.
that's awesome. And he's got a few more to go. Up here there's, I think these are the
Yeah.
fronts,
That's the back problem.
back, and then these
Well, no,
long-
that's, I don't know.
And something like this that's discolored and scuffed, is that something that could be like sanded or cleaned, or is that just the way it is?
This'll work on that.
All right,
Believe
awesome.
it or not, it'll scuff it. We have to just scuff it up enough. And this stuff is not paint. This actually is absorbed into the plastic.
That's cool.
So
Permanent color, basically.
it's basically permanent color, yes.
That's awesome. Jared's over here working on the intake. You've got to do some plumbing or something here.
Yeah, we've got to drill and add an extra hole in the back so we can have all of our sensors and brake booster. We need to figure out our plumbing a little bit, which we'll hand off to John to handle, and just seeing what little bolts have vanished over the years that things have been sitting and being moved. And
Yeah, that's always fun. We've got a little shopping list. Jessica's going to run in the town quick. We have parts being overnighted from different suppliers. We've got parts waiting at O'Reilly's. We've got to go find some stuff. So it's kind of just organizing chaos still right now so we can start moving forward.
I've got stuff to do. I'm not waiting on parts.
All right, so we are waiting for fittings to finish drilling and moving this forward. I went ahead and kind of built out the injector harness and got it set up to tuck underneath, relatively nice and clean to try to minimize visible wiring. Things you don't need to do to make it run, but may as well make it nice.
I'm actually going to start building the radiator support because that's going to be quite the process. That's what this guy is here. So we'll pull this out and then I could start transferring pieces from the old one onto this. I just didn't want to put it on when they were rotted and rusted on the bottom. And with all the different curves and everything on this, it was just easier to buy a new one. There we go. Yeah, that looks really nice, but you can see it's completely bare, so we're gonna have to do a lot of transferring and figuring out. So right here is the parts that were completely rotted out, and that's what mounts up on here. And as you can see, I mean, I probably could have spent the time, I mean, I'd have hours into it. And that's why I just decided we'll just pick a new one up. And the other one was starting to rot in here a little bit too. But we'll get headlight buckets in and all of that. The old condenser material we don't have to put in here because we have the new stuff from Vintage Air that's going to go in. And then our Griffin rad should sit in here nice. I'm not sure if I have the little rubber pieces, but I'll start searching for those too. As you can see, it's a little bit rough. We're gonna leaf it. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Anyway, over here I got this top part out, sanding her down, cleaning this up. This is the part that sits, you know, right here like a shelf.
and then holds the hood latch mechanisms and all that, and also the grill is applied to that with some screws. And we'll get this probably coated with like BE 1635 or 1634. Just get some color on it, and then I can come back some other time and get me like little rubber pads, you know, whatever. Just trying to get it together and construct it so we get the radiator in and also the condenser kit up here as well. But making some progress, and then I just got to get these headlight buckets out. And this bracketry, again, all this is gonna stay off because we got a different kit going in. And hopefully, let's take a look. This is for AC truck. And so is this, so we're not gonna have to cut a hole for the vintage air stuff, which is gonna be great. They do have a grommet kit, but we should be able to just sneak that stuff right through there. Waiting on a couple of fittings. I'm going through and putting on a couple little things that we can. Trying to hook this up with some nice red, white, and blue spark plug boot protectors with a little flare. John, is Celine Dion near or far? Far. You want to try to breathe this rust dust in. You know, it's got a good flavor. It's very Midwestern. Here. Yep. And we got screwdrivers, wrenches, random, bunch of this stuff, more wrenches. Seems like most stuff that we'll use is going to be in these two boxes. Like and crab. Awesome. Cool. Looks like the Sonex boxes are pretty complete. Looks like it. Oh, weird. This didn't have a banjo to that? They just made an extension? Yeah, they just made it pull right onto that. So I need to try to assemble these aftermarket steering hoses. I'm not certain if I'm going to be able to do it without putting the inner wheel well on to make sure it doesn't interfere, but taking the old hose off here. See if we can get as much dirt as possible into the steering box. I wonder if I shouldn't shoot those with paint.
Yeah, we struck out on your paint.
So adapter fitting.
Yes.
And you want to give it a fresh blast? Yeah. Get that sticker off. It'll dry in there. The hose like that.
Unpolished food, so yeah.
So we're going to get the drinker side fender well in and fender so we can start planning out the battery tray, we can get those cables in, fuel pressure regulator, we can start running some of the vintage air stuff. This comes just with the coating on it, and I've seen a lot of people just throw these in like this and think it's like done, but this isn't paint. It's just coating to keep it from rusting. So I'm going to sand this up, get the stickers off, and then, you know the drill, BE 1635. And then that'll match the firewall and the rad support we're building and everything like that. This will be drying real quick. Jessica brought some sandwiches and stuff for lunch, and then after lunch we can get that popped in.
Hello. Well, we're just down here checking out our options of where we're going to mount the transmission cooler. Probably try to stay away from the tire, throwing rocks at it, get up a little bit farther. Don't think we want to go inside of the frame rail. I think I want to be outside. Under the cab is probably going to be the case.
Hey John, do you believe in magic?
Who doesn't believe in magic?
So we're now kind of going through our fuel pumps everywhere now that John has the right fittings to adapt to our AN, and we were trying to decide which of the pumps we were going to use because we wanted to try to use this Holley Hydromat, which does a great job of just picking up fuel. You can have only part of it submerged and it will get fuel to the pump, but because our fuel tank takes a pump straight in, we wouldn't be able to run this end on it. It needs to have been flat. So
Just kidding. JK, everything's cool.
So we're back to assembling this retrofit hat, and we'll be good to go soon. Pumping fuel.
The dash was all cracked and everything, so I put a layer of, this is called foam. It has a backing on it that will hold stitching.
Yep.
But you can use it for just about anything. So I covered that with that, because otherwise the cracks in the dash would telegraph through. Yeah.
Yep.
Now I'm making a pattern, because you can't change directions on some of this on fabric.
Right.
You know, you can't make fabric do that.
Yep.
I got to fill day one out of the front. Just a kid just playing with his toys over here.
Just playing with my hose.
Together.
Hey, John. Big spoon or little spoon?
Oh, I'm little spoon all the time, for sure.
So we've got the high pressure hose all assembled. It's routed to what I think is nice, but I don't have all the accoutrements around it to make sure that it actually fits. But we're gonna go with it anyways and deal with it later. The other thing I have left is to finish up this low pressure hose, which just gets a fancy looking hose clamp right here on the bottom of the reservoir.
Just trying not to break stuff.
We have one spare. So you can break it once.
I heard that. Finished tightening up these custom power steering lines, and I can cross the very first thing off of the list. Real professionals don't let lack of parts stop them from completing tasks.
Real professionals pick the easiest thing to do so they can cross something off.
Maybe you can learn a thing or two.
Much better. Like that?
Better? Better than what?
Than it was 5 minutes ago.
Did you cross anything off the list?
Not yet.
No, didn't think so. How about you? Nothing yet? Okay, got it. There. No, I'm cool too. I got something off the list.
Let me cross that off, would you?
All right. I just crossed something off the list.
You guys are getting good at this. This is all painted up and dry. Just laying it into the fender. Gonna bolt this in first, and then we can set this up here in one unit. And what that does is, this is like a tub. It'll sit over the tire and just hang, and then we're not scrambling, trying to get the fender bolted up. It'll actually aid us in getting this mocked up. Don't have spacers yet. Jessica's gonna run to the town and grab those for us, but we can kind of just start getting the front end slowly mocked together. Once this is on, I can also get the front rad support. We could bolt those together in the corner and then get the front body mounts in and just start, structure, stuff like that. He's got some patterns cut out here, and he was showing me how he had all this laid out, and then he cuts these patterns out, and this is kind of where he's going to be sewing approximately. All these different pieces, so it's going to lay nice and flat and not be bunched up around here. And then this is a real nice Almost a 1/4 inch foam on there, I think.
Well, just like with any fabric, you just have to take your time. If you try to hurry it, you're gonna maybe bunch it up or something. You just try to keep it as smooth as you can.
I feel like Dan's the only professional here.
So is it like 1 inch from the needle to the edge of the material? That's like your
I'm trying to aim it at 1/2 inch.
1/2 inch? Okay.
Yeah, a 1/2 inch seam allowance.
Oh, I see. So you could see the stitch, but it's not really structural.
That one is structural. This one is decorative right now that we're going for. I'm going so slow because I'm going backwards on the stool.
This might work.
Sure. As long as it doesn't roll. Yeah, I just want to get this right here.
Start with this.
Trim a little bit. Have to start from the other end and work the other way, I guess.
What are you working on?
We're working on this. Here, column shifter.
Oh yeah! I noticed you still have all 10 fingers without that guard.
I know, right?
Anyways, what are you working on?
Working on the trans-shift linkage, and these threads are kind of
Give me your
not great.
Previously loved. This is gonna get solid linkage, right? Or are we doing a cable?
It is solid linkage.
So we're gonna use the original column shift
Column
on this.
shift with solid linkage.
That's really cool. I like column shifters.
Way more fun.
Fitbit in my life. You need me to help you with that?
I need to do something else on the list.
There we go. Just had to put it on world twister mode.
Easy.
We're trying to simplify this wiring. They set up and run for low power fuel pumps a relay that it's not strong enough to run what we need to run, so we can either use a relay to trip a relay, or we rewire everything and just use its trigger wire. So there's a lot of removing, rerouting, cleaning up, because again, with wiring, if you do it right, nobody notices that you've done anything, but if you do it wrong, and bad wiring is very easy to see, so making sure to make it right.
We're stripping the old fuel lines out of the frame rails because we're not using them. We're gonna end up going with a in-tank fuel pump and all new high pressure lines. They're gonna be AN, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we're doing AN lines, so we're not gonna need these greasy old GM lines. And so this is pretty much done. I got the last bolt out, yank these out, and I can cross one more thing off the list.
Well, this works great too, because like we got Dan working, we got you working, we got...
You know who's not working? You.
I'm working. I'm doing the cameraman's job.
Yeah, that's not on the list. That is why we're pulling these out.
Hi.
Almost.
Almost. You know what's awesome? Building hot rods with your friends. Right. You need a giant pile to throw this into for dramatic effect. Dude, that looks awesome.
It's getting there.
Now you made all of this, or is this a template?
No, I made a pattern for it and cut it out
You done this before?
just a couple times.
How long you been doing it?
43 years.
Gee.
It's not sticking where I want it to stick.
Why did you start doing it?
Needed a job. Just like everybody else needed a job.
From a distance, you're good at what you do.
Thank you.
So the e-brake hardware, this is a spring and cable tensioner, is in the way of the O2 sensors on both sides. The mechanism here. And just kind of debating whether or not to take all this stuff out. I really don't use my e-brake ever, even in manuals, so just throw it in gear. So I'm thinking to get things moving smoothly and clean stuff up, we just go snip snip to get rid of them.
Borrowed a part from this anyway.
Are you going to be building the exhaust, or are you going to have an exhaust shop do it?
Exhaust shops.
Well, those O2 sensor mounts sound like an exhaust shop problem to me.
That could be. We could just have them.
Yeah.
Put them back here.
Yeah. A little bit further back from that collector would be good anyway.
If we just turn closed loop off,
Yeah.
and just run the base tune, then we don't really need the O2 initially, right?
Yeah. It's just we have no picture of how it's running. But if we're just trying to start it until it gets an exhaust, and then we can get a proper tune on it.
Can we just push it up like this for now?
Realistically, though, that's not going to give much useful information there or not there without the exhaust. So
What would you do?
cross something off a list.
I would make it the exhaust shop's problem.
Just leave the brake?
I mean, it's not going to pass inspection without a parking brake.
Inspection.
Yeah, the tax to drive your vehicle on the road that you paid for.
We don't have inspections in Iowa.
That's a Northeast thing, I think.
Drive what you want.
Well, let's just leave it then. We'll just bail twine that up and, just pretend we didn't see that.
All right, put it on the list. I'm going to check it off.
Are you not putting it in?
Huh? No, I not. I don't do drive shafts, okay? That's not what no. Gotta find some hardware, this old hardware. The nuts are gone and I don't know what it is.
And we need the bolts too.
And we gotta get some hardware for here. And I'm gonna get some emery cloth so we can clean this up. And spit shine that. But this was fully rebuilt, all brand new U-joints all the way through. New carrier bearing, and then we balanced it as well. And that's what these marks are when they balance these. If you take these apart, if you put them together incorrectly, then they're no longer balanced. So that's what these white marks are that I put on here. So when I slid it together, I can make sure that it's still in the right orientation of the shop. There goes the...
Need that.
No, do you need that one?
I'm coming back down, but yes.
Gummy bears, jelly beans crossed off the list.
Are you in park? Something happened. Okay. I heard a click in detemp.
Did I lose it now?
You've got a malfunction. The whole gyro kilometer came off of the stick rod.
The rod fell out the hole.
It's like a half inch short now.
Yeah. Unscheduled rapid disassembly.
Oh, I don't think you were in park when you first put this.
No, I was. I tried to go back up.
Yeah, the whole thing just did a thing.
You ready? Reverse. Okay. Neutral. D. That's it.
Here, shoot forward so I can get over this.
Yep, got it.
Thank you. All right.
Hey, you want to go put that in neutral? Pretty please. I'm gonna take some load off.
Go. Home's back here. And I've got the socket.
Hold that up. Got it. Nailed it. Sure, let me do one.
I didn't run it all the way up. Just to make sure we get it kind of centered.
Can't wait to cross this one off the list.
You only get to do half of it, right?
You know, I'll let you have this one. The public knows exactly what's going on here.
They could see it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, also I exposed you for being a fraud, so everyone knows you need my help to get it done anyway.
You want to do the wiring?
I gotta take a call. I'll be right back. Yeah, I don't do electrics. Don't sign up for it. Don't apply for it. Don't lick it. I don't do it. My background's really in like heavy custom metal fab. So that's what I specialize in because that's what I'm good at. That's what I'm efficient with. Anything beyond that, I'm less than efficient. It seems like I'm still better at crossing things off the list than these clowns we've got here. But maybe that just comes with years of hard work. What size is that? 7/16?
Yes, I believe so. I'm not the best on SAE.
I only do a whole number.
You want to just use the socket and ratchet?
You have one?
I don't have the socket, but I got that ratchet.
You know, there's nothing better than turning wrenches with your friends.
This here is the shift linkage.
What's up, Josh? What's up, man?
David.
Hey, how you doing, buddy? How you doing? Good to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Jared.
How you doing, man? How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
My man, what's happening, brother?
How's it going, man?
All right,
Good to see you.
Back at you.
John.
How you doing, John? Charlie. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And my man with the hat. I was gonna wear mine. I didn't know.
So I'm crossing another thing off the list. I got the drive shaft in, and I got the old fuel lines out. Drive shaft. So at this point, I gotta really just employ empathy against these other crew members. So I'm gonna try to take a step back, try to control my anger. But we'll see how long that lasts with these guys. Like, I don't know. We'll see. If I make it all week, it'll be a miracle.
Hey, while you're up there,
Yes, sir.
I don't know what's happening.
Thank goodness Terry showed up because like I needed backup. I needed somebody that was competent, like a real reliable builder that you can just set him on a task and let him alone. No babysitting like these other guys.
So I'm trying to figure out Josh is crossing off drive shaft and he left long dangly bolts that we had to cut off while he goes out and sits in his smart car. Like, who rents a smart car and shows up to a muscle truck wrench fest? Really?
Everyone's getting along great. Terry got in, Terry's cutting bolts where I'm standing in the engine bay, it's great. And then Josh is like, why aren't you crossing anything off the list? Hopefully we can get him to come around by the end of day 3, but right now we've got a team of 5 that are doing great, and then there's Josh.
And so from down here, we got all the shift linkage all done, tightened up, ready to go. I just got to tighten up the jam nut and the bolt up top, but it goes through the gears, pretty much ready to go. I'm gonna check something off the list today, finally.
That'd be the first thing you ever do, isn't it?
That's right.
Up and down with this rad support, it's kind of fun because there's no bolt. There it is.
I think I need another washer down here.
If you leave that nut loose, it'll move with the rest of the body that are loose. Perfect.
There it is.
We just set that one bolt in here and then run a bolt through here. It'll hold this up straight enough from here to here to where we can drop the radiator in and get the battery box and all that stuff.
Yeah, because that'll set you guys up to do all of your plumbing there and build out your AC condenser.
I don't know how any of that works. You guys ever done a vintage air?
I got a vintage in my 69 Camaro, but I never hooked it up. That sucks. I never hooked it up. Yeah.
It's that close.
Yeah, it's just like this, basically.
So
I have a homemade vintage air in El Camino.
No.
Yeah. I wonder if these will.
Well,
kind of an
hopefully you don't
awkward-
have to get lines made.
Working with the new people is tight. We getting along, we having fun, and we getting the work done. That's the whole thing. That's what we're here for.
They didn't do 45s. See what I'm saying?
Right.
Because now we're doing this. That's not going to work.
No, that goes forward. Yeah.
Why would we want to do that?
Well, that's how the low pressure, high pressure works, but
Well, I mean, directionally, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, for hose organization, we don't want one shooting off this way and
So we're gonna looping around.
one
Yeah.
coming that way. Well, sometimes they put these
Little piece of paper.
in there
Yeah.
that
what's
I
that?
think they called
Word papers.
constructions.
yeah construction paper.
Helper papers.
As long as there's pictures in it, we'll be fine. It's crazy how just like that, it looks more like a truck.
Once you put the fenders on.
Kaboom.
Is it raining? Do you still have your inner fender outside? Did it start raining?
I don't know.
Oh man, look at that. It's just 2 bolts, but it kind of feels like a truck again.
I love how clean it looks, but then it's not gonna be when we're done. Seems like it sits lower than I'm used to. I thought these came up. Sweet.
Looks good.
Dripping testosterone.
I am finally able to punch the pass-through hole. This is going to be the hole that we run the main engine wiring harness through to run down to the Holly. So once we get this hole made, we can kind of start routing and figure out how we want to lay everything into the engine bay and make it nice and clean. So what I'm going to do to minimize metal shavings in the engine bay is just run this enough to set the pilot hole, then I'll go inside the truck and drill outside so most of the metal shavings will drop away from the engine.
You got those clamps?
Yeah, I really don't like the hole where he drilled it there. It's just not an ideal situation. I could come back.
Yeah, that's right. We can get some seam steel on that. Yeah.
Hello? All right, so it seems like on day 1, Josh and the rest of us really haven't gotten off on the best foot. He's kind of been rubbing John a little bit raw. It's been a little bit rough with me. So we went ahead and made him a little token from the piece of the truck we just cut out. We're going to present to him and tell him he can wear it around his neck as a symbol of our friendship.
All right, let's go.
All right, let's go on over.
We're not gonna make this in time. Deadline's coming up and we haven't got anything done.
Josh?
Yes, sir.
That's not.
So we know on day 1, it's been a little bit rough. You kind of rubbed a lot of us the wrong way.
Somebody's got to keep you in line.
But
is
we
really all it is.
appreciate you, and as a signal of like an olive branch and a token of our friendship, we made you a little necklace with a piece of the truck we just cut off.
I feel like somebody's gonna run up behind me and tighten this up real tight.
That's not our
Actually,
plan.
a really good idea. Why didn't we think of that?
They'd have left it longer on the end if they would.
Nothing to
But a
grab.
small token of jewelry to let you know that we appreciate what you're doing. You don't have to quite be so hard whipped, but
I'm sorry, because I'm usually not like a bad guy. You guys just rubbed me the wrong way.
it happens.
So, I'm happy to be playing hot rods with my friends, guys. Thanks for the zip tie jewelry.
You're welcome. Oh yeah, new hat
Oh,
trinket.
that's
Perfect.
nice.
Yeah. 69 Camaro, right?
What?
Hold on a second. Oh, wait, we're standing. The Wi-Fi 1969 Camaro.
Yep. Awesome. No. Super. We're very close. I think if we just get a piece of pressure treated 2x4 under here, I got a different stop. We're gonna have to make a bracket, aren't we? Like a drop down, like a S bracket.
Maybe you can even bolt in there.
Yeah. My specialty. Grinding dust. Finally you get to do your... Finally I get to do something I'm good at.
You see his mustache like tilted up a little bit?
So, you know,
Another way.
you're right. You know, they tell you to dress for the job that you want.
Uh-huh.
And that's why I grew this mustache, because I'd really like to be a 1987 two-wheel drive truck pull champion. 1987. Well, summer 1987.
Summer.
Reflatten it?
Yeah. They cut off.
Or just maybe this.
Can I cut your other one up? Can I cut two of them up to make one?
Yeah.
Okay. That's the other one. and you just do the thing and the thing. Whatever you want. I'd like to do a nice job, but
But if you did the thing that you're talking about, do the thing.
not the first thing, but the second thing.
I was thinking, yeah, the second thing, you know, where you have to, that's the thing.
The thing.
The thing. Okay.
Yeah. I think I know what you're saying with.
Yeah.
You ever feel like somebody's talking to you, but they're not really actually using the words they're just trying to communicate? Jared's got a hole knocked in there, so now you can get that wire pushed through and start doing his magic at the intake arm. Front clip is coming together. Guy's got all this bolted in all the way around. Inner wheelhouse, tub, tire cover upper bolted in. All this is done. That's loose over there. We'll mount that later. Body mounts are in. Josh is working on making a super special top mount. So the radiator is about this high. So I'm gonna chop this right down this bend line. I'm gonna add 1 3/4 inch, and then that'll drop this whole face that holds the rubber saddle, the isolator on the radiator. And it'll be able to clamp it, and it'll look like it's factory, but it'll fit the aftermarket radiator. It's just a little bit too short. That's awesome. Plus he's gonna show me some tips and tricks on the TIG welder, which is great. I need that. I'm gonna start getting the headlight buckets in here, and then we can get the lower valance bolted in. And once I get that in, we can actually set the new grill in. Or excuse me, we'll get the condenser and stuff in first, then we can put the grill, all the trim and stuff like that. I've got some Holley retro bright headlights for this. I just gotta find them. They're somewhere, you know, they're somewhere in that. But it's coming together good. We're gonna keep this side off for now so we can still get in here. You can actually still walk in here and you know, work on the engine or anything like that. It just makes it a lot more convenient. And we'll plop that on when we're finished. Terry's working on the vintage air right now, getting the heater hoses put in and all that stuff. So lots of action.
Drilling out this port on the back of the intake so we have enough 3/8. We have enough MPT ports for vacuum boost and for intake air temp, and the map sensor, all that stuff can still go in the back of here. So I drilled this out and we're tapping it now to get ready to go.
This seems like enough.
I'm gonna check something off the list for one. Shifter linkage is complete.
I believe in you. Yes.
Hey, I just noticed there's no dash on there at all.
Well, we said what you wanted, and you
Interior.
said just one, so we just did interior.
You said, oh, interior. Okay, that narrows it down.
Let me tell you something. That guy, Derek, I must have gave him about 4 hugs today. He just does certain things. He's gonna teach me how to ride a motorcycle. Not that I don't know how, understand. I have rode motorcycles before, but you know, it's been a long time, so you know, maybe it's time for Terry to get back on the motorcycle. I'm definitely scared of motorcycles.
Have you never ridden one, like operated?
Like a Honda 50 where you don't have to shift gears.
You don't need to be afraid. You don't need to be afraid of the motorcycle. You need to be afraid of the people in cars.
And see, that's part of it right there. See, that's part of it right there. But I was never taught how to ride a motorcycle.
I'll teach you. I'll teach you.
You gonna teach me how to ride?
I'll teach you how to ride.
All right, cool. Before this is all over, I'm gonna be riding a motorcycle. All right, man. All right.
Wait until you see the motorcycle when we put you on.
Maybe the thing.
Oh my goodness. A tweaked out Vice Grip Garage Honda 50?
Well, it's a Vice Grip Garage style, but it's a Harley Davidson.
Ooh!
But well, you'll just have to
Put it on the list. You gotta put it on the list.
Yeah, drop it up.
Drop it on the list.
Dan, drop it on the list.
When are we gonna do it though?
What's up?
A motorcycle.
I've been riding since I was 3. You're in good hands.
Nah, I can see. You know, you got your bike there.
I think I've got over.
How do you spell cycle?
700,000 miles on a bike, easy.
That's incredible.
You already crossed it off. You didn't learn it.
He was trying to underline it.
The accountability board's turned into a bucket list board.
I missed.
And hydraulic.
You gonna put that under the intake?
As much as of it that I can.
That's John's can. That is so pretty. Look at that. There you go.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Would you look at that?
We are shopping for some sort of metal that he can pilfer to make I guess it's an extension, technically, for the top radiator support. So I got my son's wagon that I started 15 years ago and never finished.
He's probably too big to fit in.
Check
it
out
now.
the front suspension, by the way.
Oh, oh no way.
Yeah.
That is neat. That would have been cool if you ever finished it.
I know, right? Maybe I'll talk him into it while he's here. Anyway, so we might take the brand new floor pan out of a 69 Camaro. That's really hard to get. Or this. Or maybe we just go out in the junkyard and just cut a notch out of a door or something.
Probably that would be best, I think.
All right, let
Hood
me
or
run
a
down
trunk
there.
lid or.
Let's go see what we've got.
All right.
So Vice Grip Garage isn't exactly like this premier metal fab shop, and I need to modify the upper radiator mount, and to do that I need to find some extra metal because we're going to cut the existing radiator mount, drop it down, and make a filler panel, and we're going to run around the yard and see what we can find.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's where that went.
Yeah, they cut a strip right out here.
But no hinges.
I am finally working on fishing the wiring harness through the firewall so we can try to come up with the main game plan of how we're gonna wire everything, lay the harness, because again, you can go the simple route where you just run it at full length, or you can try to make it clean. And when you have a tight timetable to get something done, take all the extra time to make it clean.
There you go. It looks so intricate. Look at you.
Figure it out. So fuel pump control. That's
This is gonna have an oil pressure sensor or oil pressure gauge?
yep. We got it.
One in the top or one at the bottom of the oil pan?
We're going to run the top,
Alright.
even though I like running both.
Yeah.
Well, you don't even have to drive. You just buy the adapters that go right down there now.
Yeah. I'm old school. I had to drill and tap. I was like, I ain't paying for no adapter. I'm gonna drill this thing.
That's a good ratchet. Oh, it was.
Bicycle peg. Oh, shoot. You guys see any metal? It's like
Metal?
do we have any doors or anything that's laying around? I know what you can use. The roof out of that Camaro. It's already shot.
Derek's pretty particular on what we're allowed to cut up, apparently. And he first gave me a Trans Am or a Camaro with a super rotted roof. And he's like, you can cut it out of this roof.
Too rotted? Yeah, we looked around and we ended up finding a pristine patch panel to a 60 El Camino. I'm on options, fellas. I'm in the middle of nowhere, so.
It's pretty crusty. To put a lot of work into a part, yeah, with real pitted metal.
Let's use the square body hood then.
The one that goes on the truck?
Yeah.
I can't believe we're gonna cut up the hood that goes on the truck.
No, this truck.
Oh, okay. Different hood. Just kidding.
That's the aluminium.
That tailgate's not up for grabs?
No.
No. What about that Cadillac? Can I have that Cadillac? Yep.
Drive that home.
All right. Perfect. Oh yeah, this one's all bent up anyway.
Yeah, this one's trash.
Yeah, sweet.
Look at all the Bondo on this side. So
Perfect.
we ain't hurting nothing.
Excellent.
Pick your area and have your surgery.
Fun.
Oh, we got gloves in here. Oh, Dan's gonna be so excited. This is all the paint material he sent for the crew cab that I put in a special place that I knew I wouldn't lose it, and then I lost it. The special place was in the seat of this crew cab. We needed this color because the color we got to replace it was wrong.
Hold on.
He's gonna be super happy. I don't know what this license plate's to. Street rod. I think that's how I get home. I just keep reusing that one. I think we found our map.
Change of plans.
Like here's flat. Need like, it doesn't even need to be flat, just this, no shape. So this will work. It needs to be 30, roughly 36 inches. Ooh, watch my ibis. Yeah, and then like 1.75 tall. So yeah, we'll just pull it right out of, pull a strip right out of here. I'll clean it up, and we'll bend it to shape, and then we'll learn how to TIG weld. Put that right on this. Yeah. I feel like a square body butcher with this knife. That looks great. Yeah, I can see. I'm gonna leave that connected so it doesn't get all flippy floppy and wobbly wobbly. We need, let's do 2 inches. Real delicate. I'll be dipped. Proud of you. This is the only piece of metal we have, so we can't mess this up. Yeah. Hey Dan, look what I found.
What color does that say on here?
How's that sound?
Is it the same?
Camel.
Okay, camel.
That's the color we need, right? That's the original color?
Well, we're gonna find out in like
Alright, so I'm gonna give
45 seconds.
You know where my hiding spot was? Out in an old square body.
Yeah, that's definitely different. That's way different.
Darker for
different.
sure.
I thought it was too bright.
I thought that would make you happy.
Oh,
He was
golly
gonna order
gee.
some.
Oh no, I could have got some more.
I about jumped out of my shoes when I found it.
I'll be dipped.
It kind of sounded like
So, doesn't matter what color's on the outside. You only need a little bit, and then a little bit more, and then a little bit more.
So you had that other color on there. You don't have to like do that whole process.
No,
to
the
get that off?
whole, it was clean. It was
Okay.
clean. That's all you're looking for, is to get it clean.
All right.
I'm trying to think, but I don't think they even have you wait 5 minutes between it. Yeah, 5 to 10, but I just kind of watch it. And I don't put very much on at a time. You can see I'm just barely spritzing it. So you can make 3-4 coats with it.
Okay. It's great that you found that.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Yeah.
What are you doing here, Jessica?
I'm drawing lines.
So Dan came up with a pattern. Is it 4-inch? Is that what this is?
5 inches, yeah.
And
I missed a line.
yeah, and if all goes well, you might run some thread today, huh?
Gonna try.
Run some thread.
Yeah.
That'll be really fun. So this is going to be the headliner, and it's just going to have a decorative.
It's gonna be the 2 sides, and then the bump out down in the center is gonna have. So that leather looking material is gonna go on these 2 sides, and then you can see the little bump out there in the center. That is gonna have the same pad material you see here that is also incorporated in the seats.
So I was finally able to get some progress done when Jessica and Carrie, John's wife, came back with the tools we needed and a couple fittings that I was just dead blocked on with the wiring harness. And I then tore in, got that thing relayed out nice and clean. It's in the truck and you can't hardly even see it. It looks amazing.
Oh, building first fuel line for the car. Yeah, we're halfway there.
And even that wasn't enough to stop the belly aching of Josh. I don't know what his deal is. Nothing makes him happy.
So this here is a factory upper radiator mount. This used to be a factory upper radiator mount. I sliced it, and we're gonna take this piece of an old Thunderbird quarter panel and make a spacer to drop down to reach the shorter radiator. Took this, cleaned it all up, took the flap wheel, tried to get most of the rust off, and now it's up to me to shape and match this contour, and then it's got to fit perfectly, like the entire way, no gaps, because we plan on TIG welding this. Good opportunity for Derek to learn how to use the equipment he has. You know, when I came down here, I thought that I'd have a little bit more respect, but really, I've got nothing but like, these guys are on me. They're saying, oh, he's so much faster than me. I'd move that fast if I did all the easy jobs. But like, that's not the case at all. Everything they do, they can't do it themselves. Like, these guys need to be, their hands held the whole time. And like, if I've got to carry the weight on this build, I don't even know why I'm here. I shouldn't be here. Like, this isn't my build. This isn't my truck. And these clowns are putting all the weight on me, and I can't do this all week.
Setting up this AC because, you know, it's a cool truck and you want to make it cool, so it's got to be cool. But setting this up isn't so cool, especially on this sketchy.
So it's the mount that you're working on?
Yeah, I'm gonna mount it in. It's funny because like these things come with instructions, but sometimes you got to really read them. That's why I got the glasses on. You see that, right? One down, 4 to go. Another down, and one more show.
Today has been an absolutely crazy day. I think we have been to like 7, 8, maybe 9 different stores. Some of those stores like 2 and 3 different times trying to get all the different parts that these guys need to get this truck running right. I think we finally now have everything that they need, at least for today. So let's hope this all works out.
Well, the parts came in. So that's a beautiful thing. And we went right to work.
We are laying out the headliner. Do this, we don't want to sew on this line here because it may show, okay?
Okay.
So we want to get a wider spot.
And you're referring to like the pattern?
Yeah.
The wider spot on the pattern, okay.
Yeah, so when this is folded under, it's going to look like that.
Oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Because otherwise, if you fold it under, you can end up with a little bit of black showing, and that'll look like hell.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
Then we'll just do the same thing here. Eight and a half.
Oh, I see, said the line.
had a really pregnant idea,
Oh.
I think. Okay, so if that's the center, then let's connect the dots in both directions. No, that's not going to work. Well, let's see. Wait a minute. We gotta go this way. No. Oops.
It was. We had it over there.
Where did I get this piece of crap from?
I bought new ones. Anyway, I need these too. Yep. Whoop. 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 We'll pretend that didn't happen. I gotta take these out again. They want to save money that much. He'll feel it.
I really feel like a little bit.
It's just, it's very, very different.
Yeah. Well, for Pete's sake, I just... Oh, there they are. Now we got some headlight buckets. That's... Oh no. Oh. Whoa. Easy, John.
Hey, Garrett, do me a favor, will you? Could you come here? Matter of fact,
Oh
come
no.
on,
Bend it.
have a seat.
Just bend it back.
Bend it in.
No, that didn't happen. There we go. 74-foot extension. Cross thread's better than no thread.
There's what they call aluminum Loctite. I think we got steel Loctite.
It's starting to look like a truck, actually.
Good.
It's kind of scary. Should we, well, the fender, yeah, the fender should go in. Oh yeah, that's not going anywhere. I don't know if I should go ahead and like finish. Actually, I need to stop because we'll probably have to take this back off when Terry goes to put the...
Yep, we probably messed that up.
Yeah, definitely. But let's just go ahead and wait until he's like, who put this on?
Why did you do that?
So the 60 El Camino quarter panel radiator support extension. I love how every time we say what it is, it's something different. It was a Thunderbird earlier. Oh, okay. It could be a Studebaker or an El Camino later. But since I don't have a brake or anything like that, look at that. Just winging it with a bench vise and nailing it. And because this is narrower than the vise jaws, I have to get it perfect. And I have to move in sequence. I have to bend this, flip it, move it up,
you know, that distance, bend it, flip it, move it up the next distance, because there's no going back, because this won't fit. This won't fit in the vise after it's bent. So just have to do it perfect the first time.
Just a long, slow, tedious
Just be careful.
process.
Yep, it'll never fit better after it's welded. So make it fit right before you weld it.
This is why he's here, guys, because I was like, well, we'll just bend a bracket thing. And he was like, no, stop. We're not doing that. Let's do it right.
Yeah, you can do it that way, but I don't. I mean, this is what, like, when you open the hood, this is what you lean on. Everyone looks at it.
Right.
It needs to be right.
So this is going to be pretty cool. Like this is what I love is I'm learning how. I would look at this and be like, this is a welding fabrication nightmare, and he looked at it as, it's just a little challenge. We'll get through it. So it's going to be fun to see how this turns out.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to fit it and then TIG weld it too.
Well, I was just telling him that I appreciate him and that we don't really do like trophies or like, you know, anything like that. But we do hand out capes, and I just wanted to go ahead and give him his cape early.
It's my two-wheel drive truck pull champion cape.
Yeah, the 87 truck pull champion cape. Plus it matches his shirt.
It's stealth.
Yeah, so you're doing good. Keep up with the hammering thing.
Yeah. This actually has a body line in it from the quarter panel we cut it out of. So I'm using the anvil part of the vise and this hammer just to sort of planish the body panel out. You got to be careful not to hit it too much or you'll stretch it. You'll make it thinner, but you'll grow in area and it'll change the actual shape. If you do that too much, it can actually like turn it into a bowl and a curve, and you'll end up with a bowl and a curve in what's supposed to be a straight panel. So just hit it really, really light.
I don't know what you're talking about. What capes?
You got capes? Where are the capes?
What capes? I don't know anything about capes.
Trying to get this battery box put in here. Because if I can get the battery in, then we can run the positive down to the, you know, the starter. And then get the SAD cable hooked up to the block as well, get that done. And once those posts are in, then Jared will have something where he can, we got some connector things for power takeoffs, and he could start doing his magic over here as well. Now I just gotta find where I put that thing. Oh, here it is.
The what? Oh, they're in.
How does that connect?
I'm trying to pretty up the first of many harnesses. You're getting the AC condenser in. There's
Doing
the
it.
battery tray in. Dan is fixing the showing machine so he can start stitching.
We are adjusting the knee lift.
In a few minutes.
There we go.
Yeah.
Now Terry can put the
Cooling fin condenser.
You want this out of the way too? Because it's got to go.
Yeah, it's got to go back there. Yeah, so I think we have to pull that out too.
Okay. No problem, because I can paint the backside actually. Because that's been bothering me.
There we go. All right, so the condenser is going to go in the front, so you have to take out pretty much everything that you need to put in. And you got these little grommets right here, which has screws on, and they go in. So you got 4 of them. So we're gonna put that, we're gonna hang the condenser, and we'll worry about putting the O-rings in and everything like that, and making it work in a little bit. But for now, we just want to hang it so we can put the front piece back on that he just removed, and it'll be golden. So you get your first part.
I like that they painted it black.
Derek, I need a hammer.
Hammer?
A Tanya Hart?
Sure.
I know this is gonna be hard to find, but
Oh, that looks sharp.
Barely.
Looking real good. I'm kind of getting nervous, to be honest. There's too much nice. I feel like we should key the truck or like spray paint something.
You know we should key.
And the whole, come on, get in there. So close, but yet so far. All kinds of tight. We don't want to mess up the pretty e-coat. Are we gonna paint it?
What?
Front bed liner?
The core support?
Yeah.
I think I already did.
Oh, you did? Oh, so we definitely don't want to mess it up.
We need to get blue painter's tape. Just cover everything in blue painter's tape.
That's it.
Protect it, just like you're working on a freshly painted, real nice car.
Everyone wants the glory. No one wanted to go and put the air conditioning, set it all up and everything like that because there's a million pieces. So, we got guys wiring LSs and intakes and all that. And Derek's back there messing around with a battery. But, certain things has to be done. And, that's when you call it a T-dog, Jump feet first. Take care of business, that's right. So we took care of this condenser, we got it all hooked up and everything like that. Now we gotta finish the lines and I guess try to put some refrigerant in it and see if it fires up. But first we gotta fire the engine up.
I guess just measure voltage.
I bought a battery this nice. I don't even know what it means. It's a 16 volt, which we don't even have like 16 volt charging or anything like that, but it sat back here in this rotted box for years, and I just tested the voltages, and it's 16.9. It's like brand new. So I guess I'm a believer. But this is a top post screw-in deal, so we'll be able to bring those. They're like little distribution blocks, and then we can run all of our leads and wires right into that, and it's just going to clean things up quite a bit.
We should need that. That's an AC. You bought a what's it called? Rack support for an AC. Yeah, that was the template if you didn't have an AC.
Boom.
Who wants to tell Josh you found the part?
Definitely the part. I mean,
There you
in
go,
my
Derek.
head, I thought, let's order both styles, but coincidentally, we found 2 of the same. I was gonna.
I could have hang you by your toes and got you like a fish.
Wow, that's some hate right there. That's some hate. Oh.
This basically is the same thing as that.
Well, anywho's, I'm over here rooting around, in some boxes, and it's tough because I bought a lot of this stuff like 3 years ago, and I'll be dipped if I didn't pull out the radiator support we needed. And he was already chin deep in like custom fabricating. He's over there with a chisel and like the bench vise, and I spent an hour hooking up the TIG welder machine, which that's wizardry we won't even get into. I was gonna like come up with like a really good story on how I found this, but you kind of just, Anyway, the good news is we got the part.
I'm probably an hour and a half into this metal strip trying to bend it and form it and get it exactly the right shape so I have perfect fitment so that when I TIG weld it, it's not a big headache. I still have roughly 3 hours left before it's a done piece. And I hear the shop like just get quiet like that. Everybody's murmuring and hushing and I kind of hear, oh, who's gonna tell Josh?
and Derek had the correct upper radiator mount sitting in a box somewhere. And I went through all of that work for nothing. I mean, experience, you know, maybe I learned something. You can't change the past, but you can change your cognitive framework around a past experience. And I'm gonna try to figure out how to make good out of this. But in the moment, I could have killed the guy.
That is good news.
Found that.
You can cross it off your list.
He put like a lot of work. I can't even tell you.
It's almost like we should use it.
Yeah.
Well, you've only got probably another hour to go on that, or
Plus TIG welding. And
yeah.
Oh, there's many hours left. Like,
Yeah.
That's the answer. That was $15.
Well, for everybody that's wondering, it's part number 320982. That's what you need, is this guy right here.
I knew that Griffin radiators wouldn't stiff us like that.
Wow. I wasn't even looking for this. I was looking for the battery hole down in that box, and I was like, that looks like a modified... Oh no, I don't want to tell Josh that.
Well, it's fantastic. I'm happy for you.
There was an opportunity to do some fabrication that Derek kind of, pulled out from under him, and that just made it even worse. I don't know if we should find some vanilla ice cream for him, some more gushers. I don't know.
Where are we at? Radiator hose, radiator.
I don't think we added it yet.
Okay, well I can't
Custom.
radiator.
There you go. I'm sorry, man.
I forgive you, but like, don't let it happen again.
It's more embarrassing. Like, I'm gonna internalize this for years, I think, is what's gonna happen. But at least we're moving forward. That's the good news.
That was a good quarter panel.
It was. But now I can patch it, because we have the, well, not quite.
We hung it up on the wall. You can see over there. We hung it up on the wall, so it's going to be like a thing, an ode to us, the team.
That's how that goes, so he can look at it and feel shame every day he walks in the shop. Thanks, dude. You gotta tuck the head. It means more.
Years later. It almost looks as if we pulled these out, that this would sit down better.
At that on this side, yeah.
Because now the rubber isn't over the corner, and I wonder if we take these out, it'll kind of
Pinch that. Well, that'll work. Let's go at it from a different angle. Wow, whatever's in there is tougher than nails.
my favorite smell.
Look at that.
There we go. That was a lot better.
Is that the one that was giving us trouble?
Yeah, that's why I did. Yep.
Now we'll just have to.
Well, when we tighten it up, it might pinch it down too.
It should come down.
Maybe that piece of rubber that we cut off, we can stick behind here.
I bet you it tightens up.
All right. Do it. Go, Josh. Go, Josh.
Forge new threads. That's pretty good.
Good enough for the girls we date? Oh yeah.
Man, look at that.
Yeah. Check.
High five, Josh. Is this
All
a high
right,
five?
Yeah, ma'am.
let's eat while it's hot. All right? Appreciate you guys.
It's getting late. I'm going on like, it feels like day 3 of 0 sleep, including travel time and work at home. And now I'm playing games and I'm losing. I'm trying to get this spring out of the stupid radiator hose so I can repurpose it. And I'm about ready to lay down. So I'm trying to get this spring out of this universal radiator hose so that I can put it in an OEM radiator hose that we're gonna cut down, but when we try to make the bend, it sort of kinks, and this will hold the hose open from kinking. So we're almost here. Finally got the, and now we're out. So we're gonna take this hose, slide it in to here, which I'm sure it'll go right in. This is gonna be great. And that will keep it from kinking when I have to make a tight bend. But now I have to fight the good fight to get it all the way in there. I don't know if this is gonna work, but it's the only idea I've got. The other idea is maybe grease it up like a pig at a county fair. Yeah, I can already feel it. It's getting in here. I can't crush it. That's perfect, because this is the bend that actually really needs to be supported. It's all the way up here now. That's great. If I get this down to a science, I can start offering this as a service. It's going. The entire community can get behind one common goal, crossing the list off. There you go, halfway into the last bend. There it is. Got it. So now I can chop this down, stuff it back in. That's about factory. That's hard as a rubber hose with a steel spring in it. Kinked or nothing. I'm checking that one off the list.
It's a one-off trick upper rad right there with spring. I mean, this is the real deal here. This should be a part number. It's called like Josh 74.
Well, that's what I was saying. If I get good at this, I can start offering it as a service.
Absolutely.
That spring really sweet. It'd be nice if we could like order just the spring.
Right? There's another great idea.
Need your hose handled? Call Josh.
Climbing.
Awkwardly.
We got the oil pressure sensor thing in?
No, I can reach it down through the top.
Okay, cool. Anything I can do to help?
You can cross it off the list.
You know, you haven't crossed anything off the list. I'm gonna let you do one. I don't wanna, I'm not trying to rub salt in the wound, but facts is facts.
Excuse me, gentlemen.
Has to
Relays.
sit one exact spot.
Low rim problems.
Yeah. And then, see, the good news is you can just tuck all that there, and you don't see it.
Josh nailed this upper hose. The general nailed the lower hose though.
That's such a fun game when you're tightening hose clamps. Like, when do you stop? You know?
Did you get the good one or not?
I got a good one actually, surprisingly. But that'd be like past the hose clamp. Like everyone keeps kind of like Jenga. Like,
Yep.
oh, you're next.
So overall, the day kind of just was met with tons of roadblocks. Every project just was stalled. But even with that really kind of rocky, slow start, I think we just absolutely killed it. Just got so much done where the truck is almost looking like a truck. It's to the point where there's still a lot of wiring that needs to happen, but mechanically it's starting to fall into place really quickly. And you know, I feel like we're in a good spot. We don't need to stress and put in an insane late night on day one. We may be at the 12th hour of day 3 wishing we did, but I think we're doing great.
Technically doesn't have a hard deadline. It just has this is the time available.
Yeah. I'm gonna lose my barn, dude. Is today the first day?
Yeah, this is day 1.
Okay. Feels like day 3 already. Tomorrow is Jared's got a pile of wiring to do. Pretty much just go wire up the cigarette lighter and fire it up. Yeah. And a couple small doodads like the crossover kit, breather tubey vents sticks, and then
Me and Jared are gonna be fighting for
oil.
trucking
Yeah.
her down.
Oils, plug in a computer, drop in a bass tune, fire the thing up. And then it comes down to like the actual front wiring harness and lighting and interior. I feel like the list is gonna get longer tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't turn that around.
Wow.
Oh, you can cross off drink bush lattes.
All right, so this is the end of day 1. How do you feel it went?
Beer assistant. So it got off to a little bit of a slow start, but I think we got quite a bit done. Let's see. Oh crap, I don't remember what else. Maybe I had a couple of these, I don't know. But we got quite a bit done, more than we thought we were going to, or at least more than I thought we were going to get done today. I think we're on the right path, and don't tell anybody over there, but I think we can get it running tomorrow, about 11 noon, somewhere in there, get her fired up.
But no, you're right. It's going to be like, okay, we got this, but now we have this small rinky-dink thing. Well, like that. We forgot to put that in line.
Yeah.
What's up?
We gotta make a little bracket for that. Just throw that in there.
Yeah,
It goes in the middle.
You were looking to see if it had a bracket.
Yeah.
Just
Well, I
we
think
don't want it to
if you get it close enough. Yeah.
It's just hanging.
Maybe.
It's gonna go in the inner one.
This guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just a matter of just cutting it out. But I don't know if you want.
That's gonna.
Yeah, exactly.
I got things like I got to find the hood hinges because we found the hood today accidentally.
I found some hinges on an orange truck.
Well, there you go. That's a good idea.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So if I can't find these doodads, we'll go get the other rusted ones that bent that hood in half, and then we'll put them in this truck so we could bend this hood in half.
It's the end of day 1, and I am on 40 hours of zero sleep. There's travel time, there's hustling in the shop here, hustling back home, and we accomplished quite a lot.
Oh, the gauges, that's a pile of wiring too. You got the pre-beep boops with the post-beep boop box that goes
Hopefully
in.
in theory it's
the other modules and stuff like that. You have all that stuff.
Because once we get that done,
come in.
and I could throw a steering wheel on quick tomorrow, we could just say, hey Dan, good luck. I think once he gets the headliner knocked out, the rest is just bolt-in parts. Door panels, carpet,
Gotta lay all your sound deadening down.
that. Or we just do what I've done my whole life and just throw the carpet down. Just let her buck. I think for the sake of the AC, just trying to actually do something, it would be nice to have some insulation in the cab. Because that's like,
Should also hook those hoses up just to keep the pump safe.
We gotta
yes.
crimp them.
Yeah. I don't have the crimper.
Yeah.
Do you know an AC shop? Basically just cut the rubber, paint mark it, take it to them, give them
Should we, like
20 bucks.
most hydraulic shops, I know,
Oh, yeah.
like my local Napa will crimp them.
We can, Jessica's got to run into town anyway, right?
Like 16 times.
So on trip like 2 or 3, why don't we send all that with her?
You measure it out.
Yeah, maybe we do that right away in the morning.
Yeah, measure it out. And
But again, you cut the rubber and make all your lengths, and
Right.
then paint mark it so the clocking is correct.
Yep, and then we could just push these on, clock them, send them with them.
put like a little Sharpie, you know. We got a lot of work done on that truck. And, you know, personally, I think the guy whoever did the air conditioning setup, you need to watch that guy. He did his thing, you know.
Whoops.
That's it.
I was doing motor noises. I got a little excited.
End of the day, I think, you know, it was a lot of piddling around a little bit in the beginning because we needed little parts and pieces and stuff, but everything's ordered. Tomorrow, all that's coming in. So next episode, I think you're going to see a lot of this stuff just boom. It's going to come together pretty quick. We should have this thing running, knock on wood. I shouldn't have said that. We can maybe just delete that part or something. But I'm looking forward to it. Heck of a team. Maybe it's square body team B+ right now. Maybe we'll be A+ by the end of the week. Okay, beer time.